waves yesterday in Harrisburg. State Representative Jim Struzzi on the line. Our conversation brought to you by Marcus & Mack, a law firm representing injured people. Representative Struzzi, good morning to you on your way to the office, huh?
Yes, good morning, Todd.
It's good to have you with us here this morning. Just wanted to spend a couple of moments talking about your reintroduction of the bill concerning RGGI, the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. Is this the same bill exactly that you introduced last year, or are there changes?
No, we did change the language somewhat. We made it more of a general, you can't do this without General Assembly approval. It had been more specific to outlining what we feel are the true economic impacts of RGGI, but instead this is more, this current bill, while it still addresses the Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative and any multi-state compact, it's more about the process that the governor undertook to enter into RGGI without first gaining General Assembly approval. So the bill language was tweaked to be more specific to the process itself.
So it's much broader than just RGGI now. It would apply to other executive actions that he would take that would tie the state to other compacts such as this or other methods of governance?
Yeah, any multi-state compact should have General Assembly approval, and that is really what the true argument here is, Todd, that he is violating the Constitution really by entering into RGGI without General Assembly approval. And really, if he does do this and we do enter into RGGI, we would be the first state to do that without General Assembly approval out of all the RGGI states.
So that being the case, it would therefore apply to other measures. And the governor, of course, has been resistant to this in the past. Tell me first about the possibility of bipartisan support for the bill in the new form, and second about what you're hearing from the governor's office about the chances of any sort of legislation such as this getting past his signature.
Well, let me first be clear that I don't hear from the governor's office, Todd.
Okay.
He has not reached out to me whatsoever. I did have the opportunity to question the DEP Secretary, Patrick McDonnell, on Monday during their budget hearing for the appropriations, which was quite revealing. If any of the listeners or yourself had a chance to listen to it, my colleagues and I truly, drilled down into what RGGI would do to Pennsylvania, and the Secretary himself admitted that electric rates will increase across the board, and it will close our coal-fired electric generation plants. And he said that as part of his testimony. So clearly, there's going to be economic impacts that the DEP is not looking at. But back to your original question, yes, it will have bipartisan support. Representative Pam Snyder is on the bill again with me as a co-author, if you will, a co-prime sponsor, along with Representative Donna Oberlander. And Pam is a Democrat, and we will have other Democratic supporters because, whether you're a Democrat, Republican, whatever you are, you have to see that RGGI is going to impact our economy. And those factors just simply cannot be ignored. And we're talking billions and billions of tax dollars that could be lost in electric generation going to other states, in jobs going to other states. And we simply cannot allow that to happen without first vetting this Regional Greenhouse Gas Initiative. And I understand, people have concerns with climate change and global warming, and I want to be specific that this is not my issue. I mean, I understand the concerns with it, but my concern is the economic impacts that RGGI will have on Indiana County, on western Pennsylvania, and this entire Commonwealth. And that's why we kind of restructured the bill to focus more specifically on the process by which the governor wishes to enter into RGGI.
The governor's office, when the proposal was first made and several times since then, has claimed that RGGI is actually going to be an economic benefit to Indiana, or not to Indiana County, but to the state as a whole, and we're all going to be better off because of it economically. Obviously, when you asked the secretary that question the other day, as you said, his answer was awkward and insufficient in your mind.
Yeah, they mentioned this trust fund that the governor wants to create, and they believe that by entering into RGGI through the tax that's collected from the carbon emissions, they will generate $300 million. That, to me, is speculative at best, because if you're putting these industries out of business, you're not going to have a carbon tax to collect. So how then, therefore, do you provide this money back to our communities? And let's be blunt, Todd. The governor's already spending this money in other areas of the state. They've already earmarked it. There is even a meeting with the Department of Agriculture on how they're going to spend the carbon tax dollars with the DEP. So they're already spreading this all over the place. It's just like the governor's proposed severance tax, where he thinks it's going to solve all the problems. I can promise you that money, if they do collect the carbon tax and Reggie is entered, is not going to come back to Indiana County. So anyone who believes that is being naive and should be very concerned, because we are dead center in the area that's going to face the most impacts. And I hope people in Indiana County realize that. And I've been screaming that from the highest mountain along with Senator Pittman, because we see what's going to happen, and it's going to be detrimental to our local economy, to our tax base. People are going to leave Pennsylvania because these jobs are going to go elsewhere. It's already happening. And I can't for the life of me understand why the governor's administration and the DEP are not looking at the economic impacts of entering into this.
So in your mind, the governor basically is engaged in a marketing campaign to sell this more than anything else? Would you put it that way?
Absolutely. Yes. He's billing this as another mechanism to solve all the problems that we face by creating another tax. And to me, you can't solve problems by creating more taxes. We have to work together to solve the environmental problems, but we can't do that to the detriment of our economy. And that's what's happening if we go down the Reggie path. And to me, that's unacceptable. And really, it's short-sighted as we look at the economic future of Pennsylvania. I understand that there are environmental concerns. I understand we have environmental issues that we need to address. But we need to do that in harmony with the energy industry. We need to do that in harmony with job creation, and we need to do that in harmony with sustainability.
The interesting thing to me about Secretary McDonald's answer to you the other day was when he said it's not a matter of if these power plants are going to close, it's a matter of when. It was in response to your question, will you come to Indiana County and look the people in the eye and say you're going to lose your job? And that was the way that he responded. It's like it's a foregone conclusion that your job is gone. Why do I need to come to Indiana County and tell you that?
Yeah, I mean, you don't just kick something down the stairs because you think it's going to end. And quite frankly, people have been saying these power plants are going to close for decades now, and they haven't. And the coal industry, despite what some people think, is actually doing well. And you look at this winter, Todd, the power plants are chugging right now. I mean, they are putting energy into the grid for the entire East Coast, and in some cases shipping it westward. We've seen that, this has been one of the more extreme winters we've had in some time, and you simply have to have that balance of energy generation. You need all these sources of energy to work together to provide what we need to keep our businesses and our homes warm and energized. So to simply say it's going to end, so why not end it now, to me is just, it's really ignorant to the people who work in these fields, and it's ignorant to the people that provide the energy that we use every day.
It's interesting that as we're having this conversation, I'm looking out the window and I can see a coal train passing right through downtown Indiana right now. So that's just an indication of how important this coal industry remains here in Indiana County. Representative Jim Struzzi in Harrisburg and visiting with us this morning. Thanks so much for taking some time to visit with us today.
Thank you, Todd.
Have a great day.
You too.
It is the voice of Indiana County, WCCS 101.1 FM and AM 1160.